Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a pretty entertaining email that was sent from a young subscriber. This is from a guy, he's 22 years old, sounds like he's either about to graduate college or he did already. And he shares his story how for the first time in his entire life, first time his whole dating and hookup life from his teens and early 20s, he met this gal that he decided to give a relationship a shot with. You're going to see that his entire dating hookup life, he's done nothing but hookups, nothing serious, because he's been focusing on himself, his goals, his ambitions, school, the gym, his buddies. And because of that, and because he's been a challenge and he's a good-looking guy, girls are after him left and right. And he only uses them basically as a piece of meat. And they are always trying to lock him down. And because he doesn't give in, they're extra accommodating, if you catch my drift, and are doing anything to get this guy. Nope, not interested. And then this last summer, he met a gal that he foolishly perceived as being sweet and innocent, that truly she could have been girlfriend material, and he starts acting different around her. And can you guess what happened? After all these years of these gals trying to lock him down, he changes his behavior and in a way goes from being the bad boy Chad to the nice guy, and you're going to see how this girl treats him. However, you're going to see, don't worry, this guy will have the last laugh. And that'll be a very good one to go over here, guys, an entertaining one to show you what happens when you treat a gal like a human being. What happens when a guy actually is the one pursuing a relationship, when we all know, or most of you know, it should be her pursuing the relationship, her bringing up commitment, all that. It's amazing. And how, I don't care what anybody says, none of them are sweet and innocent. And believe me, by and large, especially nowadays, they're all little carousel riders, even if it's a phase that they go through. And so there's a lot of things to learn in this guy's story here, and it's definitely pretty funny to hear. So it starts off, he says, hey SSM, I've been watching your channel a lot recently. I never had any reason to get into the art pill content before, as I'm 6'4", athletic 22-year-old who's had no problem in the dating scene until recently. All throughout college, I've been focusing on my schoolwork, my fitness, and my hobbies, telling myself a girlfriend will get in the way of all that. There you go, guys. Right there, focusing on himself. I tell you that, guys, all the time. Guys that focus on themselves and making them happy and making girls a distant, not even a distant second, like the 10th thing of importance, guess what happens? They chase after them, if, of course, they're good looking and take care of themselves and have a personality. There's something that's appealing about them. Right there. He says, so I did the whole hookup thing to satisfy my needs while leaving the rest of my energy to focus on myself. This seemed to work out well for me, as many girls would try to lock me down after hooking up with them a few times, only for me to tell them I don't want to date them. Yeah, you know what's the most attractive word to a woman? No. Saying no, because all the other guys say yes. This made them treat me even better, and had them begging to see me on my terms, being strictly for sex. This is why I never bothered watching any YouTube videos about dating or female nature, because I was naturally just displaying high-value traits without really knowing it. Yeah, exactly. I hooked up with around 20 different girls in that time, most of them seeing multiple times, and built myself a good roster of dependable girls. I guarantee you that some of those girls knew each other and talked about you, and you were such a prize in their eyes, their other friends jumped in line, because that's just how they operate. All this went out the window as soon as I graduated from college and started talking to this really sweet girl that I met at the gym. She seemed so innocent, so sweet, and so different from all the bitchy club girls that I was used to. And this made me really like her. Well, let's see in 10 minutes what he's thinking. I told myself that now I was out of college and had more time, that maybe now was a good time to have my first girlfriend. Maybe not. Dude, you're just starting in the world. You're 22 years old. You need to now get your first real job, or get into your career and start on that grind, busting your ass to move up in the world and stuff like that, and save money and start putting money away to start building wealth early. So no, it's not time yet for your official girlfriend, but you had to learn. The same day I met her, I went to a local bar, and she happened to be there. Ended up going to her place where we hooked up. So he's still doing his Chad ways. If she was so sweet and innocent, Do you think she would have hooked up with you the first day you met her? How about that? She was really bad at SCX at first. Gave terrible BJs and had an inverted arch like a camel when she was on her hands and knees in doggy, so I knew she was super experienced. I really liked her and kept seeing her, but also, or maybe he meant lacked experience. I really liked her and kept seeing her, but also started doing other things like taking her out in my convertible, going for nature walks, and riding on my jet ski. All the while sleeping with her and noticing her continuing to improve her technique. So already you've gone from the girls were purely to come over for bedroom fun. They're actually doing nature walks and going for car drives in the convertible. And what else were you doing? Taking her out in jet skis and all that stuff like that. That's very cool. And by the way, you're 22 and you got a convertible and you got jet skis. I don't know your situation. Maybe you come from a family that has some dough. That I'm sure that helped with the girls being attracted to you. But okay, whatever. Point is, you're starting to treat her like a girlfriend. And watch how this continues, guys. I met her in March of this year while she was in my city for college. And then she moved back to her hometown over the summer, where she would really start to give me more attention, and I talked to her all the time. Here comes the sirens. I can't escape them. Where I go to a desert fucking island, there'll be sirens from somewhere. So anyhow, guys, you can see the pattern, what's going on here. He's treating her like a girlfriend. And honestly, there should be nothing wrong with that, right? She's expressing interest, they're hooking up, having a good time. But him doing all this gives her certainty. This shows her, this guy really likes me. And I'm sure she's heard somewhere through the grapevine your reputation. So if all of a sudden you're behaving in this way towards her, unlike the other gals, that's going to make her think, oh, I got this guy. I don't need to work as hard. Or maybe I can start dictating things on my terms. I even drove to see her in her hometown an hour away, 8 times throughout the summer. I was finding myself being so nice to her because she was so nice to me. I was used to being the one in the driver's seat in my situationships with women, so it felt nice to actually treat a girl well for once. We never had a single negative interaction, which looking back could have been a red flag. So again, in a perfect world, you could treat a girl like this, and she'd treat you like the king, and everybody live happily ever after. The problem is you're going to see when guys do that, like I said, that puts the girl, her perception is it puts her in the driver's seat. So at the end of the summer, when she moved back, I said I'd be willing to date her. What the hell you been doing all summer, dude? You've been acting like you're her boyfriend. I was so used to every other girl asking me for a relationship that I just assumed this one would want to do that too. But was too nice and non-confrontational to bring it up herself. To my surprise, she began crying and said she wasn't ready for a boyfriend. He's like, what? After all that? Using the excuse that she didn't want to feel guilted into dropping plans with her other girlfriends at the time to just see me out of obligation because we were dating. This guy's probably like, are you effing kidding me? All these years, I've been the one saying no to relationships, and the one girl I bring this up to, and she's not interested because she wouldn't want to have to turn down her friends from Carousel riding and have to go see out of obligation. Where does this come from? This confidence she has here comes from he's been treating her like a girlfriend all along, and she realized I got this guy. It can happen even to the Chads. We're just getting started here. I said, that's okay. We can just keep doing what we're doing, but because we aren't using protection, we shouldn't see other people. Smack. You weren't using protection, dude? What the fuck? Do you want to get a girl pregnant and derail all the plans and hopes and dreams you have for your life? Or catch something? I don't want to hear that bullshit again. You always wear protection. You always wear it, you provide it, and you dispose of it. And if you don't, you can be up shit creek without a paddle. I said this because I couldn't stand the thought of this girl getting her back blown out by other guys because I saw her as so innocent and inexperienced and didn't want her to start to get used by other guys because I know how guys can be. Hell, I used to be one of those types. I also didn't think she wanted to experience that lifestyle and saw absolutely no chance that she wanted to sleep around. Oh, my friend, how you've had the wool pulled over your eyes. Sweet and innocent, huh? Watch this. She started getting distant after this, flaking a few times on me when I would set up dates to see her. Remember, this is the guy that all the girls are chasing after, and he immediately changes his ways for this girl and starts being extra nice to her and chasing after her. And by the way, this is why I tell you guys, you never tell a girl I love you first. You never ask her for a commitment or be exclusive first. And the reason you don't do those things is because if she's not there yet, she's going to interpret it as, oh shit, this guy's way more into me than I'm into him. And oftentimes they become distant right here, breaking dates, less enthusiastic to see you. See? Right there. You don't do that. Let them bring it up. And by you doing those things, it gives them certainty. And usually when women have certainty, that's when bullshit starts to happen to the guys. Right here. And this guy's again like, what the fuck? Flaking on me and all this? Becoming distant? I'm the guy they were chasing after. It can happen to any of us, guys. I began to get tired, ignoring her until she called me, crying, saying she needed to talk to me, and she was so scared that I would ghost her. So he stopped. He started wising up. He started backing away and started treating her like a piece of meat. And already, now she's chasing after him. When we met up, she told me something that would completely alter my perception of her forever. She told me that right before she met me, she was in a 3-year sexless relationship that carried over from her last year of high school into the first 2 years of college. She is presently in her 3rd year, so this is technically her first year of college being single. She told me she broke up with her boyfriend to start going out with her friends and finally be free and unrestricted to experience the full college lifestyle with them after feeling left out for so many years. College lifestyle, you mean riding the carousel. She also said that in the month before meeting me, she hooked up with 2 different guys, losing her virginity in the process. I knew she was inexperienced, but then she told me that in the first 2 months after meeting me, right before moving away for the summer, she hooked up with 4 other guys. Hang on here. So when you started seeing her and you started going goo goo gaga over her and started doing the nice guy shit, she was hooking up with 4 other dudes. 4 that she's claiming. We all know darn well, whatever number is given, at least multiply times 3. So she's probably doing 10 other dudes when you're dating her. You're not seeing anybody else, and you're not using protection, I might add, and doing all this nice guy shit. So all along when you're doing this nice guy stuff and going on nature walks to feed the goddamn ducks and riding in your convertible and going up to see her and treating her special, even though she's not your girlfriend, she's hooking up with probably 10 different dudes, doing Lord knows what. I'm sure you got plenty of action and her being freaky with you. See? Right there. And women whine and complain when guys treat them like crap and like a piece of meat. Well, what happens when guys treat them in a way like he was here? Right here. Because you gave her certainty. And I'm sure she knew about your past. Well, don't worry, guys. Watch this. All this was going on while I thought she was being sweet, innocent, and pretty much exclusive to me. We never talked about being exclusive at the time, so I can't be angry. But I think the fact that I thought she was so innocent and such a great girlfriend material is what made me so crushed by this. Yeah. Because he said, again, he liked her because she seemed different than all those hoe bags he met in the clubs and all that type of stuff. Well, the straw that broke the camel's back, she said that she felt like she needed to go out and experience the college lifestyle more this year with her friends, and asked that if it was okay with me, but saying that I was the one she cared about and still wanted to date me in the future. In other words, she wants to put this guy, the former Chad, in layaway. So she can go out with her friends and hook up with probably 50 dudes this year, but know that she'll have you on layaway, so when she's finally done being unable to walk from being pounded by Chad and Tyrone all the time, she can go back to this guy and go back to their magical summer together and all that. Fat chance, honey. I laughed and said that we are never going to date now, but that I'd still be friends with benefits with her, and she reluctantly agreed. And our man is back. So at this point, my complete perception of who I thought this girl was is completely shattered. And I don't really see any redeeming qualities in her now that I realize she's not as innocent as I thought. Dude, I know you're young, but none of them are. None of them. I now ignore her unless I'm trying to set up a hookup. And she cries to me saying how she feels like she made a mistake and and that she misses talking to me, and she didn't think I'd act so distant to her. Oh, you mean you're treating her now like the rest? You're treating her how she's treating you? And all of a sudden she's crying about it and sad. You see, now that you're backing away and treating her like a piece of meat, and you didn't want to do that, we all heard the story, now she's chasing after you. Just like how they all were earlier. She says that she made a bad choice and that going out to hook up with these random losers, her words, for 3 or 4 minutes each was completely not worth losing what we could have had together. You screwed that up, honey. You blew it. No pun intended. I told her I was disappointed in how this had to be this way too, but I told her this situation, that's best for us now, that this lifestyle, and she told me she wants to have this. Let me read this again. The pouring rain out of nowhere is distracting me. I told her I was disappointed it had to be this way too, but I told her that this is the situation that's best for us now, that this is the lifestyle she told me that she wants to have, and she seems to reluctantly understand. Yeah, that's what she said. She wanted to put you away for later and date you later and just be casual. She didn't expect you to go along with that. She expected you to still be chasing after her and wanting to plan dates and all that. She didn't expect you to go cold turkey on her. I told her there is no going back from what she told me. I said the other option would be for me just to cut her off, but she firmly denied that, saying she wouldn't want that at all. I guarantee you she's thinking that in time she can get you to change your mind, because you fell for her before and you treat her like the queen, so she thinks that in time you'll go back to doing that. She's confident in that. You see what happens when you give them certainty, gentlemen. I cannot stress that enough. I'm glad I'm not a pushover and had the confidence, unlike a lot of modern simp men, unfortunately, to reject her horrible offer of getting tied down to this girl once she's had all her fun. And I think she's now regretting her decision. I had a hard time at first getting readjusted to hooking up with other girls, as I've been consistently having sex with this girl for the longest time I ever have been exclusive to just one girl. I didn't get hard with my first 2 girls after her, but I've now adjusted and I'm doing just fine. I'm sure you're back in the saddle. This whole ordeal has taught me a lot about female nature and introduced me to your channel as well. I realized I came out the winner here, as she still goes out to the bar, makes all these other guys pay for her drinks and work for her, and gives her attention for the night, only for her to just call me up to come over to her house and get validation from me, who just ignores her the rest of the time. So now I've decided not to rush into a long-term relationship by any means, and I'm kind of back to my old ways, giving women as little of my valuable time as I want, just for them to end up reaching out to me at the end of the night to hook up with me. And now I've learned never to perceive a girl as innocent, sweet, or mine. It makes it rather easy for me to handle the thought of these girls going out and hooking up with other guys on the side. Thank you for doing what you do. Well, bro, great story. And you know what? It takes balls writing in a story, and writing in a story where you're going to get some laughs, and it takes a certain character to admit you're wrong. You know, you obviously, you didn't know. You really thought that she was different, and you really gave her a shot, and you tried being a good guy, you know, and all that, and look what it got you. She's hooking up with all those other guys, and I think it's way more than 4, and I'm sure every guy watching this is saying there's no way it was just 4 dudes like she claimed. All the while you're doing all this like relationship stuff, because let's be honest, you were acting like you were in a relationship, and then you bring it up. She's like, I'd rather just stay friends. I'd rather just we date later, and I can go out with my girlfriends, have the college experience. That's what you got for all the kindness and dedication you showed her. So no sweet and innocent. That is bullshit. They're all little carousel riders. Most are all little carousel riders, by and large. There are a few traditional gals out there that aren't nuts, but let's be honest, and especially in the 2020s. And look what happens. So remember, gentlemen, you relationship guys, and you're at that point you want to do a relationship, let her bring up going exclusive first. Right here shows that. Let her do that whole thing. Let her bring up say the I love yous first, because when you do, and she doesn't do it yet, believe me, the odds are if she's not there, she'll start backing away, just like she did here. Do not try to lock them down. Do your own thing. Focus on you. Focus on your goals, your ambitions, all that. And here will be the big mystery. If down the road this guy actually wants to, like, maybe one day have children, have sons, and do all that, you know, what's going to happen? But we shall see. But bro, in the meantime, go back to doing what you're doing, focusing on you. You're now out of college. Focus on your job or starting your career, whatever that may be, and I want you to live thrifty, save your money, put the extra money in good appreciating assets, whatever that may be. Maybe working towards getting the down payment for your first house or condo, or putting money away in index funds or something like that. Something they'll appreciate in value. Don't piss away all your money on bullshit, and just keep doing what you're doing. But for God's sakes, wear the protection. Provide your protection, wear the protection, dispose your protection. Don't let it anywhere near these girls, because believe me, I did a story just earlier about the baby trapping thing, and some girl may try to do it to get you. You gotta be careful, and don't believe for a second that they're on the goddamn pill. We've heard that whole song and dance before, and you're gonna be all right. So thanks for sharing your story, guys, and it's definitely a good lesson to all the guys out there. And again, and yet they complain that guys treat them the way this guy does. But look what happens. Look what happens when he started treating like a human being. Need I say more? All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.